If you're just joining us, this is Good Morning Abuja on NT Channel 5, the Unity Station. Yes, we have a business analyst as usual. In fact, he's a friend of the house, so you know him already. We have engineer Abayomi Onosoya, the Global Director Africa House, and the house to talk to us about large-scale agriculture, a pathway to food security. So please join us to welcome him, or he's joining me to welcome everybody. A very good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. So let's look at the large-scale agriculture contribution to improving food security on a national or global scale. Let's put it that way.
Interesting. Well, good morning, Abuja. Good morning, Nigeria. We all know that food is essential for human development. In fact, when you're hungry, there's a limit to what you can do. Like they say, a hungry man is an angry man.
He's an angry man. I wanted to say that.
Exactly. So, but unfortunately, we're having a bit of food crisis, and we may use that word food crisis because our current output is not meeting our demands. Imagine trying to feed 200 million people. So the problem then arises. We have to now start innovating to see how we can feed 200 million mouths. And in order to do that, we need to industrialize. We need to do large-scale mechanized farming because back in the 70s and 60s, agriculture basically consisted of one guy cultivating 2 acres, 3 hectares, 2 acres, and then 1 hectare. But now, because the demand is so great, we need to change the way we cultivate our food. We need to start growing rice on a massive scale. We need to start growing beans. We need to start growing yams and all the food items that we have. And across every situation, in fact, you barely find few people doing mechanized farming because the farmers still rely on their human muscles to try to cultivate food for us. That's why we're having a bit of a crisis, you see. And if you go to Europe, you discover that agriculture is even done by young people, people in their 20s. You see, but in Nigeria, the young people don't want to go into farm because they believe it's dirty. That's the word, it's not attractive. People think, why should I go carry a hoe in my back and with the cutlass cut the brushes and then start bending, So that's why this topic we're analyzing today is very important. We need to transit into modern farming that attracts everyone.
Honestly.
Agriculture that does not stress you, so to say, so that you can sit back and cultivate thousands and thousands of hectares and in the end, there's a financial reward aspect to it.
Okay. Let's look at how businesses can leverage technology and innovation in order to improve their business.
Well, first of all, we need to understand that agriculture is a business because many people don't actually see it as that, because people do agriculture just to survive. I'll give an example. At the back of our office, we have a bit of land, and you discover that you see one or two people will come, cultivate a small piece of land, cultivate yam, cultivate beans, cultivate
just to
corn,
feed the family.
Just to feed themselves. And then, so they see agriculture as, let me just do it so that I have enough food to eat. And in fact, even if you go to Benue, it will shock you that even you go to Benue, the food basket of Nigeria, you see farmers will just bring the excess of what they've harvested for themselves. So, okay, I have 3 baskets left. Let me take it to Boko Market and sell. And they'll sit on the floor. Somebody will give them 2,000-3,000. They go home and use that to buy other things like clothes and toothpaste and salt. So agriculture must be seen as a very, very, very lucrative business. You see, so once you see that as a business, then you now discover that it's a business where you will start investing a lot of money. For example, I will now say, okay, fine, I want to make money from agriculture, from cultivating corn, for example. Then I will go and get 1,000 hectares, 2,000 hectares of land. I will invest money in tractors. I will invest money in technology to be able to cultivate that land for me. Whether I like it or not, you go to places like Netherlands, you discover that 20-something-year-old children, kids, are the ones who are doing farming. You see, they have equipment funded by the banks, by different organizations who give them long-term loans to buy tractors that move on its own, automated tractors. So you don't need to start, so you just sit in the cabin, press where you want, and the tractor will do the rest for you. The planting, the harvesting, the spraying fertilizer, everything is done with technology. So, and that's why you discover that a country like Germany will be selling milk to Nigeria. Can you imagine that? Wow. Selling milk to Nigeria, milk powder, because their farmers have even livestock farming also, cattle and what have you. Everything is technology oriented. There was a video I saw in Germany where the cows, they walk into a chamber that is automatic. It will lift them up. The machines will come and to their nipples, and it will get the milk. It will measure it. It will sterilize it. I was like, wow, this is
This
milk production.
amazing. Yes.
Exactly. So technology is part and parcel of agriculture. We cannot run away from technologies. That's why we need to start inculcating technology into the agriculture that we're doing in Nigeria.
You can imagine with this, the youth will run into the
Exactly.
Let's look at the challenges that businesses face when trying to venture into large-scale agriculture.
One of the major challenges, or one of the hindrances that is not making people go into agriculture, is number one is probably orientation.
Okay.
The young people have not been told, and thankfully we're doing a program today on NTA so people can hear that agriculture can be interesting. So they don't know agriculture can be a business, that you can become a billionaire from agriculture. You see? And not only that, the second challenge is access to finance for those equipments. Because, this is where I always try to use the word, I drag Nigerian banks. They make a lot of money in profit. So I think the government should make a policy that enforces them to invest a part of their profit to financing agriculture, because they also have to eat anyways.
Yes.
You cannot import rice or import banana from France. It also has to be grown in Nigeria. So access to finance, so that an average farmer can say, okay, please, I have so and so and so piece of land, though. I need a tractor. So the finance will now say, okay, fine. The bank will now say, we'll lease this tractor to you. The tractor is not yours, but we are giving it to you for 2-3 years to cultivate your land. And whatever input you are getting or output, then we can be taking it back as the repayment for your loan. So then everybody can say, fine, I want to get into the business of agriculture. So finance is a major area. And the thirdly is government does have a lot of systems, a lot of programs, especially the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. They have tractors, they have programs where you see that they bought 1,000 tractors. But the problem is those programs are not transparent enough, or let me say open enough for people to benefit, for the real farmers to benefit. You discover that people who are not even farmers
does not get to the people.
Exactly. It doesn't even get to the farmers. The farmers ask you, hey, there's a program. They don't even know there's a program. But the audio farmers, or shall I say the fake farmers, are the ones who park 2-3 tractors in their backyard. You begin to wonder, okay, what are you doing with these tractors? Don't worry, I got it from government intervention programs. So we need to find a robust and a smart way to ensure that these equipment get to the right people who need it, the real farmers in the jungle.
I think monitoring, that's where monitoring comes in. But we'll talk about monitoring after this break. All right, we'll be back after this break, and we'll be talking about large-scale agriculture, a pathway to food security. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Yes, large-scale agriculture, a pathway to food security. Engineer Bayomi Onosoya is still here. So we are continuing. Let's talk about monitoring.
Yes, monitoring is a key aspect of ensuring that all the equipment and inputs, in fact, other parts of agriculture in Nigeria, is effective. Because if you don't monitor, you discover that the so-called associations or people who claim to be associations, they are the ones benefiting from all these efforts of the government. The government is trying. That's just the truth. They are pumping billions and billions into agriculture and other sectors, but because they don't have a mechanism to be able to sort out who are the real farmers and who are the pretenders. So as a result, you see a lot of equipment, efforts, finances will just go down the drain. Somebody who's not even a farmer, who doesn't even own a piece of land, will have tractors parked in his backyard. And also maintenance culture. I want to chip that in also. You see, if you go to most ministries of agriculture, even in the state, at the state level, you discover that there are a lot of equipment who are just, literally they are damaged, they are not being repaired, they are being left to rot in the open rain. And for all this expensive equipment, I think government needs to do more. Whether they need to involve the private sector, that would be a good idea to ensure that if you buy a tractor, the lifespan of this tractor should be 20 years. And in that 20 years, you should have achieved this and this and this. But you discover that some of the tractors have simple engineering issue, and then they just abandon it to rot. And then the next year, it will be in the budget, we're buying another tractor. Why not fix what we already have? So they can partner with the private sector, because the private sector is all about money. He wants to make money, money. But government policy side. So if you match those two people together, you now discover that it will be a form of check and balances. Because if I'm a partner to the federal government to ensure this tractor makes money, because if the tractor doesn't make money, I don't make money. So I will ensure that tractor is always working.
And maintenance culture.
So
we need to have
maintenance culture. You go around different ministries of agriculture, you see equipment, you will want to cry. you will want to cry like, come on, see harvesters on the floor, see harrowers and all this equipment on the floor. But they say soil is damaged, and the bureaucratic system will not allow even them to sell it off or to auction it out because they're afraid of
And it will
corruption
just
and
be
whatnot.
there.
It will just be there and nothing will happen to it. So we need to use, those monitoring and the maintenance culture, like you said, would be the way to go to ensure that whatever effort government is putting in is achieving results.
Okay, let's look at the steps for someone who wants to go into large agriculture in Nigeria. As a business, what would I call it? A business analyst. Let me put it that way.
Right.
So, what would you say to the person?
Well, the very first step is you have to get a lot of learning, a lot of knowledge. Don't go into a business you do not understand. Understand the value chain. If you want to be a maize cultivator, learn everything about maize from the cultivation to where you want to sell it. Don't grow things people will not eat. But fortunately for us in Nigeria, whatever you grow, people will eat. So we have that to our advantage. So after getting the knowledge, number 2 is you need to work hard on acquiring large pieces of land, large parcels of land. And it may be difficult to say, I want to buy 100 hectares. It might be difficult, but there's an option of leasing or renting. You see, you go to certain places in Nigeria now, you can lease for a year for around 50,000 or 100,000 naira per hectare. So instead of looking for billions to buy the land, lease it at first. You see, lease like 100 hectares and then find the way how you can get equipment either through your banks or through your Ministry of Agriculture, because most people make this mistake. They think that, why should I go to government office? They will not do anything for me. But that's the mistake. There's a lot of programs government is actually running that people are not even applying for. So take that bold step, go ask, I want to do X, Y, Z. What can you offer me? What are my rights? So, and you'll be surprised that some of these things are available for you to tap into. So once you found out what you can tap into, then leverage on those things, and with your relationships in business, get equipment and start cultivating. Start small, think big, and grow fast. So that's the concept. So by the time you finish the first year, whatever profits you made from there, push it back into your business to expand it a bit from 100 hectares, go to 150 hectares. And before you know, you'll be able to afford to actually buy those plots of land, and invest. The last point is invest heavily in processing or storage. Because sometimes, imagine somebody harvesting tomato now. You have 100 hectares of tomato farm in Jos. Now the tomato comes in, and then the market is flooded with tomato from all around the world. What do? Do you let it rot? Exactly. Convert it to onion powder. And this is what we do as Africa. So innovative techniques that allows you to be able to store your food, for longer periods of time. Invest in technologies that will help you store your food so that you don't lose money due to post-harvest losses. So once you're able to do all of those things, you discover that there's money in agriculture. There is. People are making billions from agriculture, and the person will be successful.
Okay. Now, for you've been in agriculture. I know that that's why you are an expert in that area. We've talked about agriculture not being attractive.
Yes.
That's one of the reasons why the youth. So let's talk more on it. Apart from not being attractive, what do you think the government can do to attract the youth into agriculture?
Well, I think attracting the youth to agriculture starts from the school. I remember growing up, agricultural science was a subject everyone had to study in secondary school. I don't know about now. And you had to do it in, I think, from GSS 1 till even SS3 or so that time.
And we all had classes and
thank you. And, exactly. You go to the school, always had this big compound, but now you see schools, it's just one small box and it's a secondary school. Schools had farmlands that you could actually practice. So government needs to bring back that concept of agricultural science where people learn about all these new modern techniques and whatnot. And after government has done that, they need to also introduce it, maybe even the tertiary institution, like a optional subject. You don't need to pass it, but you need to just attend the lectures. Show them modern techniques of agriculture, how important agriculture is in terms of saving ourselves from impending famine. You see, and also government should post children, all these IT students, to agricultural institutions, don't post them to where they will sit in the office and press their phone all day. Send them to the field, send them to the farm. I think there was this African nation who did that. I think it was during Jerry Rawlings' time, who said every Thursday, every student must go to the farm. All the university students, you must go to the farm every Thursday or every Friday. I don't remember now. I'm talking now maybe the 60s or so. So we need to bring those things back. Those things to let people know that if we don't have enough food, there's a disaster around the corner.
Honestly.
So people need to know the importance of food, not just pressing computers or pressing phone. Phone is important, but food also is important. It's only someone who's alive that will press phone, right? You know what I'm trying to say?
An hungry man is an angry man. If you're angry, can you press your phone?
Exactly. So once they do that, and then they need to introduce new technological courses in the agricultural sector, like hydroponics, like using drone technology for applying fertilizers, smart irrigation. They need to upgrade the curricula when it comes to agricultural studies in universities and even in secondary school. Let people see those glittering and shining and interesting examples to say, wow, this is possible. This is nice.
A lot of people
I want to be a farmer. And you see people will drop out from school say, you know what, I've learned enough. Let me go and open my farm because I'll feed the nation. So these are some of the things they can do to make it attractive for young people to be able to make money from agriculture.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We can't thank you enough. Yes, agriculture is something that for us to have food security, we need to go into agriculture in large scale. Okay, so you've heard it from him. The advice is there. Make agriculture attractive to our youths. From their secondary school, just like she said, we used to have, to even the university. Let's have it so that we can have food, abundance of food. All right, we've been talking about large scale agriculture, pathway to food security. We'll be right back after this break. Please don't go anywhere.